Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be answering some highly anticipated questions and topics that you guys sent me on Instagram whilst achieving this super cute makeup look. All the products that I use in today's makeup look are from Sephora. Huge thank you to Sephora for sponsoring today's video. And all of them can be found in store or online, but for your convenience, I have linked them all down below in the description box for you guys. Sephora is actually currently having their gifts for all events, which means 20% off purchases and 30% off Sephora collection until December 10th. In order to participate in this savings and get free shipping, you need to be a part of Sephora's Beauty Insider program. It's super easy to sign up and it's free, so I suggest you do that right now. And since the holiday season is upon us, this is honestly the best time of year to shop for gifts for yourself or your loved ones. So be sure to mention this offer when you shop in store, or if you shop online, use code YAYGIFTING at checkout. And if you happen to fall in love with any of the products I used in today's video, then be sure to shop now, because this savings event will not last forever. And if you do shop, let me know which products you try and how you feel about them, because I love hearing about you guys' experiences with the products I recommend. So I don't want to keep y'all waiting. These questions and topics are quite interesting. So without further ado, let's get started. It's literally 9 p.m. and I'm filming a Get Ready With Me with nowhere to go. Most times when I film these, most times when I do any type of content, I'm not going anywhere. But I just feel like talking to y'all. It's been a little minute. I've been a little here and there with the uploads lately. I have so much travel coming up within the next week, so you guys can expect some content for sure. But before we get into the questions, I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty Ease Draw Tint Stick. I've been loving this stick. This is in the shade 21. It is a little bit warm on me, but I think the thing I really like about these sticks is that I could go to a 20 or a 19 or a 22 or a 23 and it would probably work. Like, they're so flexible. See, it's literally disappearing on my skin, yet it's giving coverage. I'm literally obsessed. So the first question, hey, love you so much. Love you too. How has being 25 felt different to you? Being 25 has felt like the biggest blessing, just to know that I am aging, I'm getting older, I'm reaching those milestone ages that I dreamed about reaching when I was younger. I'm honored and I'm grateful to be at this age. How do you go about setting boundaries with people, especially fam and close friends? Good question. Before we get into it, I'm going to take my Hourglass concealer in the shade Maple. One thing this concealer is going to do is give you coverage. So I am not going to use too much of it. Setting boundaries. I had to set some boundaries today, actually. I had gone to the gas station and some man came up to me and was telling me he's new in the area. He's looking for friends. He wants my number, da da da. I'm like, that's cool. But unfortunately, I am not the one. I'm not your friend and I'm not looking to make any male friends right now. But he basically was like, oh, you know, I saw you wearing a hijab. You're Muslim. I'm Muslim too. He was very persistent. So I asked him, you just recently moved here. Who did you move with? He said, my family. I'm like, okay, who is your family? Elaborate. And then he tells me his wife and his children. It was very clear that his intentions weren't pure. With a whole wife and children at home and you want to be my friend, you want to make friends with me, what do we look like we have in common other than the fact that we're Muslim? Like, let's be so for real right now. I'm like, okay, that's great. You can go to the mosque. We have a really great mosque here. Super big, great community. And I told him, how about you give me your wife's number? I'd happily befriend her because I'm looking for some Muslim girlfriends and I'd love to be her friend. And he immediately switched up. Demeanor changed. He was not having it. Moral of the story, boundaries protect you from unwanted people, unwanted energy, unwanted places, just unwanted situations in your life. So when it comes to setting boundaries, you just gotta be honest. You have to be honest. I always say give an alternative. He said he wanted Muslim friends. I said go to the mosque. I think it's always great to give an alternative, like, hey, I do not feel comfortable with this, but I'd be happy to offer this, or I'd be happy to direct you this place so you can have your needs met in this way. You just gotta redirect the conversation, but in a kind way, in a humble way, in a soft way. Now, if they're still upset by the boundaries, that's natural. Like, boundaries oftentimes hurt our egos, like even on the receiving end. Here's an example. Let's say I just got an email about a campaign that I'm super, super excited for. So I pick up the phone and I call my friend to tell her about it. Mind you, my job allows for me to make a call in the middle of the day without any repercussions. But here I go calling my friend who works in the office who can't pick up the phone. So her setting a boundary would look like her maybe answering the phone and telling me, hey, this is a bad time. How about you call me at this time and then we can talk? Or it could be her sending a text and saying the same thing. Y'all get the gist. I think when you offer an alternative, when someone is trying to do something that you aren't comfortable with, it lands a lot softer than just telling somebody no. So I would highly recommend that you guys look into alternatives that you can suggest to make it less aggressive, because no one likes being told no. No one likes being told that they're, you know, making you feel uncomfortable or anything like that. And the same thing goes for friends and family. I just noticed you said friends and family. My mom asked me to do the dishes and I can't right now. I tell her, hey mom, I can't do the dishes right now, but let me finish this video and I'll do them right after that. Sometimes my mom don't even be happy with that, but it's better than me telling her straight up no. That is grounds for me getting kicked out of this house. But if I offer an alternative, it is a lot easier for her to digest. Does that make sense? Next product I'm going to take is my Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush in the shade Love. It's just this pretty terracotta. I think this is terracotta. It is stunning and it layers beautifully with another blush that I'm going to show you guys later on. But look at how pretty that color is. Next question, or not a question. It looks like this is a topic. Giving yourself that internal validation and not depending on others to do that for you. When it comes to giving yourself that internal validation, you need to question why you're looking for validation outside of yourself in the first place. In my experience, I've learned that there's healthy types of validation and toxic types of validation. Healthy validation is looking to have your feelings and your experience validated by people you care about. Your husband, your mom, your sister. Let's say you have an argument with your sibling. It settles down, you guys are finally talking and not barking at each other. And you are telling her your side of the story, like, hey, this is how what you said made me feel, and this is what I took from it, da da da. You want your loved one to validate your experience and say, even if I don't completely understand where you're coming from, I love you, therefore I am sensitive towards how you feel and I care about how you feel, so I want to make sure that I do not make you feel like that again. That is healthy validation, and there's nothing wrong with you for seeking that type of validation from the people you love. But the toxic validation seeking is from strangers on the internet and in real life who will never impact your life in a positive or negative way, who simply will probably never cross paths with you, but you feel the need to have them validate you, validate your experiences, normalize this, normalize that. I keep seeing that all over the place. Honestly, in the beginning, you don't question it much, but once you sit down and ask the question, why is it everything that we need to normalize? Why can't people just not be on the same page as you? Because that's the reality of this world. Most people will not get it. And that doesn't mean your experience is not valid. You have to believe that your experience is valid whether people understand it or not. I feel like a lot of people treat this world like it's a dream world where you can get everybody on the same page as you and have everybody validate your experience and have everybody have sensitivity towards you and care about you and love you, and that is not the world we live in, boo. You have to be realistic and understand that it's an evil world we live in, and you do not need to be waiting for people who do not care about you to validate you and tell you that you're beautiful and tell you that you deserve to take up space. Oh, let's normalize eating a whole pizza in one sitting. No, just you eat your pizza in one sitting and be okay with it. Why do you need everybody to be on the same page as you before you do something? When you look outside of yourself, especially to people who you do not care about, random people, to validate your human experience and everything that comes with it, it points to an extreme lack of self-worth and just plain insecurity. Let's be serious, people. Like, this world is not as sweet and dandy as we try to make it seem. So I think it would be in everybody's best interest to fill their own cups up, fill yourself up, and believe in yourself. Believe that you're beautiful, believe that you're smart, believe that you're deserving, so that you don't have to look outside of yourself for other people to tell you that and fill your cup up. Just the validation from strangers too. Like, you gotta ask yourself, who are they? Who are they? Who are they? And the solution to that is not seeking more validation from strangers. The solution to that is believing in yourself and doing the work to believe in yourself. It's not easy work. It's not fun work, but it is absolutely necessary for you to have peace of mind, for you to not be so reliant on people who, like I will keep saying it, people who will not benefit your life in any way. It's just crucial that we find our self-worth and our confidence and figure out who we are without the noise of the world, because the world, they change their mind every day. You cannot please the world, nor should you want to. Next product I'm going in with is my Omicole Skin Melt Loose Powder in the shade Translucent. This has been a fave of mine for a long time. It is such a slept on translucent powder, plus it's black owned, and I could be wrong, but I think Omicole is clean, which makes it even better. I have it in the shade, I forgot the name, but it's in a yellow shade as well, and I love that shade too, but I've definitely been in a translucent phase recently with powder. Like, look at the blur. Just beautiful. And see how it cancels out that yellowness that I was getting from the concealer? I got a couple of questions / comments on, well, not questions. Most people were saying discuss marriage. And most times when I ask you guys for topics to discuss, somebody, if not multiple bodies, say discuss marriage. And I'm a firm believer that if you are not in the trenches, you should not be speaking on certain subjects. Shout out to Uncle Tony Gaskins for teaching me that, because I used to be a very big mouthed, opinionated girl who just had an opinion on everything and just believed that I knew everything. And the more I grew up, the more I realized how important it is to only take advice from people who are in the position you want to be in. We should not be taking financial advice from broke people. We should not be taking marriage advice from people who've never been married. We should not be taking fitness advice from people who ain't never been in the gym, ain't never been athletic, ain't never, you know, lost a ton of weight. Point is that this day and age, like, everybody is a coach in something. Most people are coaching things that they have never personally experienced themselves, and I'm just learning how detrimental that is. You gotta be in the trenches. You have to be in the trenches in order to speak on something. So I can't really speak on marriage because I don't know nothing about it. I've never been married. I do pray to be married one day though, guys. Make dua for me. That's pretty much all I got to say about the marriage topic, guys. Trust and believe though, when I am married, you guys will know. Maybe not immediately. I might need to enjoy my marriage for some time first. But after some time, I would definitely tell you guys, like, hey guys, surprise. I got married 2 years ago. I'm gonna go ahead and set the rest of my face using this Kosas Softly Cloud Set Powder. Very slept on powder. Nobody is talking about this. I don't think I've seen one person use this powder, and honestly, one day I just decided to try it on a whim because I was looking for a clean foundation powder that I could use on my face. And I'm so happy I took the risk on this product because it gives exactly what it needs to give. It does exactly what it says it's supposed to do. The shade is beautiful, and look at how it cancels out that shine. I don't care what your favorite makeup artist is telling you on the internet, guys, you need to be setting your liquid and cream product. Please do not walk out of the house with liquid and cream products sitting on your face without setting them. Otherwise, you are literally giving your makeup permission to melt off of your face. Look at that. Everything is cohesive, everything is unison, everything is looking exactly how it needs to. How to find creative outlets or hobbies. In my experience of learning to validate myself, working on my confidence, I've learned how important it is to have hobbies, especially hobbies that you don't monetize, hobbies that you don't make money from, because it is so precious to be a beginner. It is so precious to be a beginner, to suck at something, to not know how to do something, and to eventually over time get better at it. And it does wonders for your confidence. You can do all the affirmations you want. You can tell yourself how beautiful you think you are. You can work on your outer exterior, your looks, but it's more than how you look. It's also your ability to believe in yourself and how capable you are of doing everything you say you're gonna do. That is a huge part of confidence that we oftentimes miss out on. And once I started like just trying stuff that I'm not, oh my God, Mimi, please do not flash these people. Did you fart? Goodness gracious. Once I started doing things that I don't know how to do, but eventually learned how to do, my confidence skyrocketed. So I would definitely oh my god, maybe that stinks. I would definitely recommend hobbies for anybody who is struggling with their confidence. You guys know last year I started ice skating, which is something I used to do when I was little, but I never was really like a pro at it. And I stopped this year. I need to do a video on why I stopped. Comment down below if you guys want to see a video on why I stopped, but I loved it. It did wonders for my confidence and how I feel about myself, and I need to get back into that or another hobby that challenges me and forces me to grow and eventually realize that I'm capable at doing the things that I say I'm gonna do. When it comes to picking up a hobby, it really just has to be something that falls in line with your interests. What are you interested in? What is something you see other people do that you're like, you are so cool. I wish I could do that, but for some reason I've convinced myself that I can't. Right now, that for me is crocheting. I think that girls that crochet are so cool. Girls who can knit their own scarves, their own mittens, shirts, and bags, like they're the coolest people on earth to me. But for some reason I keep telling myself that I can't do it, or I don't have the time, or I don't have the skill, knowing good and well that I'm a very artistically driven, motivated person. I would do great if I started knitting. I'm just making up excuses for myself, and that is probably more reason for me to start so that I can increase myself in confidence and belief in myself. And it could be anything, guys. Like, don't feel like your hobby needs to be aesthetic. Like, you could literally learn how to surf, or learn how to swim, how to jump rope, rollerblade, you know, go to ceramic classes and learn how to make bowls and cups and stuff. It can be anything, just something that sparks your interest and challenges you, something that you're not good at, so that you start as a beginner and you eventually flourish into an intermediate, and then you get a little better, and then maybe one day you become a pro. Who knows? So now I'm going to take my Sephora bronzer in the shade Ibiza. I love how the UK girlies be saying Ibiza. They be saying Ibiza in shade Ibiza. And I'm just going to use a little bit of that, just a little bit to give me that chiseled look. No, but seriously guys, look how beautiful that shade is. I love, 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 love this shade, mainly because it's cool undertone friendly. If you're someone with a neutral or cool undertone and you find it hard to find bronzers that don't make you look red, this is that girl. She's definitely that girl. Right now, I'm back in my reading bag and I couldn't be happier. I've let go of the self-help books and I have embraced my lover girl nature, and I'm reading Black romance novels now. Honestly, they are doing wonders for me because I have stopped fighting the fact that I'm a lover girl. I'm a lover girl at the core, and the books are fulfilling that for me. So I'm definitely loving that right now. It's not really a big challenge. It's more so a time commitment challenge. Like before, I used to tell myself I don't have the time to read. I don't have the time to read. But these days, I make the time. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. So I'm gonna make the time for these books because I'm genuinely enjoying this hobby. Someone asked me to speak on imposter syndrome because they are currently struggling with it. I don't know if this is something that ever fully goes away, that is imposter syndrome, but I think something that helps me to deal with it is realizing that no one has come to this earth twice. No one around me has all the answers. That's basically what I'm trying to say. When we have imposter syndrome, sometimes we think we're not deserving because other people are seemingly more deserving. They look like they fit the part more. They look smarter than us. They look like they have something we don't have. But when you remind yourself that no one has come to this earth twice, why am I comparing myself to people? One, and two, why am I immediately giving them the upper hand and telling myself that I am not equipped, that I am not enough, that I am not deserving? We have to question these things, guys, because they always come from something deep rooted. But once you answer those questions for yourself, now you have to challenge them. The biggest way I challenge them is by reminding myself that no one has come to this earth twice and nobody is more equipped than me. And if you are a woman of faith, then you should believe that what's written for you is written for you. No one is supposed to fill the role you're filling except for you, because that role was written for you by the creator of the universe. There is no better person to do what you are doing than you, because God has said that this is what you're supposed to be doing. I think that's the biggest thing that has helped me with imposter syndrome. People are really good at faking confidence. People are really, really good at looking like they have all the answers and they know it all, but most people do not. They just play the role really well. It's a constant dialogue you have to have with yourself internally. It's very, very important, because if you don't, you will find yourself putting yourself into a position of inferiority without anyone even telling you that you're inferior, which is honestly like the worst thing you could do for yourself. Now I'm gonna take one of my favorite blushes ever. This is the Sephora collection, colorful blush in the shade Fascinated. I feel like every time I do a video, I always show you guys this blush because it is so beautiful. It is coral, it's orange. Y'all know how I feel about my corals and my orange. And it's one of those buildable blushes that you can like decide whether you want some drama or you want to go natural. I think for tonight, since we're not really going anywhere, I'm gonna go natural. But because we used that Rare Beauty liquid blush, it is giving a little bit of drama because that terracotta is kind of peeking through, but it's very pretty. How to deal with negative comments about hijab, even when you know some of them are true. I'm gonna use my Pretty Grunge palette by Huda Beauty. This is actually my first time using this palette. I have been eyeing it for the longest time, but oh, I don't want you guys to see my filming setup. Tonight is the night. Tonight is the night I'm gonna use this palette, okay? I'm not doing nothing dramatic. I'm gonna take the shade Hope, and I'm just gonna dust that in my crease a little bit. This is definitely a concealer blush, but oh well. The question is dealing with negative comments about hijab, even when you know they're true. The way I deal with it is I just remind myself that these people that are leaving these negative comments do not know me. Like, you may think you know me because you saw a video of me doing makeup on your For You page. So you felt the need to comment on my hijab journey, which is between me and my creator. But I just have to remind myself, like, you do not know me. Therefore, you do not know the work it took to even get to this flawed hijab. You do not know the sacrifice and the mental, physical, emotional struggle that has gotten me to this flawed hijab, to this improper hijab, to this hijab that you do not deem to be hijab. I just have to remind myself that because I know that there's work to be done. No one needs to remind me that there is work to be done. There will always be work to be done. Even the girls you think who have perfected hijab, I promise you there is still work to be done. No one in this life ever arrives anywhere. You are always journeying. There's always room to improve. There's always room to elevate and get better at anything you do, even if you think you have mastered it. So this is not my ending point, God willing. This is not where I plan to stop. I plan to grow. I plan to get better. I plan to perfect my hijab. But you wouldn't know that because you don't know me. Sometimes they get the best of me because I'm just like, you really bold for that. That is not even how Muslims are supposed to talk to each other. We live in really crazy times, and every time I see comments like that, I just amount it to somebody going through something heart aching and not knowing how to deal with it, not knowing how to process it. So instead they go on the internet and they spew negativity or negative vibes with people who are not the cause of their pain. There is a lot of misplaced anger on the internet, unfortunately. A lot of people lashing out and just spewing rage and bleeding on people who have not hurt them. So when I remind myself of that, it is a lot easier to deal with the negativity and to move forward without needing to clap back or prove to this person who I really am and what my values are and what hijab means to me. Because even if I did that, they probably weren't gonna listen anyway. They probably don't even care if I do perfect the hijab. They don't know me. I kind of like how this look is, where this look is going. I think I'm gonna take this Beauty Chaos shade because it kind of matches my hijab, and I'm gonna put it on my lid. Just a little pop of color. Oh my god, that's so pretty. I didn't even wear an eyeshadow primer. Next question is, are you thinking of wearing abaya full time? I wear abayas from time to time. Do I plan on wearing abaya full time? No, I don't, only because I think there are a lot of different ways that you can achieve the modesty that abayas offer you without only wearing abayas. And by the way, guys, for those of you who don't know, it's essentially like a dress, like a long flowy garment. Sometimes there's an outer layer, but essentially it is just a long dress that drapes over your body and gives you complete coverage. But I'm a believer that there are a lot of ways you can achieve that kind of modesty with different garments, especially different garments from different cultures. So I don't know if I see myself being a full-time abaya girly unless I lived somewhere maybe where like abayas were common culture, if that makes sense. I love the full-time abaya girlies though. I think they look like princesses. They're so pretty. Now I'm gonna take my Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner and give myself a cute little wing. These wings looking like cousins. I'm gonna take my Anastasia Beverly Hills mascara. This is the lengthening and volumizing mascara. While we answer this next question, which is how to cut off friends that aren't good for you. Boy, has my opinion on this changed and warped and morphed and shifted in recent years, and it'll probably change again in a couple of years, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what happens when you're growing. I used to be a very cutthroat type of person, and some would say, oh my god, Tomiwa, you're so what is it? She wants me to let her out. Go, mama. Bye. You better not cry to come back in. As I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, I used to change, or I used to have a very, very like cutthroat mentality. Everybody can get cut off. Nobody is safe. Snip, 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 snip. It's kind of scary how easy it is for me to like detach from people. Anybody can get cut off. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as you mess up once, you are eligible to be cut off. And my opinions have changed on that so much. Especially once I realized how flawed I am as an individual. Like, I am so imperfect. I don't know anything, to be honest, guys. So for me to hold people to this unrealistic standard that I can't even meet myself, it just screams immature. And that's what I did when I lacked maturity. That's what I did when I was a child and I lacked critical thinking skills. So I cannot hold people to unrealistic standards, which means that everybody does not need to be cut off. In most cases, people do not need to be cut off. You have friends on different levels. Some friends are deemed acquaintances, some friends are close friends, some friends are best friends, some friends are your sisters. Sometimes you need to place people in certain categories to adjust to the stage of life that you're in and the other person is in. And it doesn't necessarily mean cutting them off. You have love for this person. You guys are just not in alignment right now. And that just means they may get demoted, and not demoted in a bad way. It just means that we are not as close right now, which means someone else is probably closer to me at this moment, or maybe no one is closer to me right now. I'm just in my lonely era. But the main point is that people don't always need to be cut off. Like, unless there's real concrete betrayal of trust and someone has literally like put a hit out on your life or has just shown that they cannot be trusted, they don't need to be cut off. That is my unpopular opinion. I don't think you need to cut everybody off. Some people you need to distance yourself from for a season. Some people, life will naturally distance you from them for a season. When you cut people off, that removes the opportunity for you guys to reunite in the future. And look, she's crying again. Mimi, you asked to leave. Oh my goodness. What? Come here. Is it toy? Toy? Toy. You want toy, don't you? Okay. Basically, I've learned that I don't need to be so extreme in how I handle fallouts or disagreements with people, because a lot of times it just be a season that you guys are not on the same page. Of course, in your case, if someone has literally like done damage and you are looking for a way to cut them off, I don't know if I'm the best person to give you an answer for that, because when I used to cut people off, I wasn't the type that was like, hey, just wanted to let you know you're cut off. No, like, you could get blocked out of nowhere, not even know why. And that's how I used to move. And I'm not a perfect person, but I am woman enough to admit that I had that phase where like I was not completely transparent or vulnerable about why I'm upset. And instead of explaining and giving the person room to like fix things, I just blocked them. Simple. But I'm learning that, you know, communication is a lot more important now. I would definitely suggest you have a conversation with this person and like let them know how you're feeling, and let them know like, I'm not just having this conversation to talk. Like, I feel like what you did warrants, you know, us never speaking again because da, da, da. I don't even know how you would word this. I don't know how you tell someone that you're cutting them off, which is why I've never done it before. I'm sure that there is a way that you can say it without it being too, I mean, it's gonna hurt regardless, but there's a way you can say it to ease the blow. Careful. You want to say hi to the camera? Say hi to the people. Relax, relax, relax. Mama, look. Look, Mimi. Come on, girl. Come on, please. They've been asking about you. She's so unimpressed. Okay, bye, girl. So now it's time for the lip combo. I'm gonna take this Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk 3 Intense. I've been loving this lip liner lately. It definitely is a great investment if you are someone with very pigmented lips like myself. And it's creamy, so it doesn't hurt when you put it on. Now I'm going to take my Rare Beauty matte lipstick in the shade Talented. And then the last question, this person said, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. Any advice for people thinking about wearing the hijab in 2024? First in fam. Well, my sister, congratulations that you're even having thoughts about wearing the hijab in the new year. I actually did a video on this subject, which I am probably due for another video since my hijab anniversary, if that's a thing, is coming up. The first thing I would do is to make dua on that, on the fact that you feel inclined to wear the hijab. You want to cover yourself in prayer and cover that desire in as much prayer as possible, because being the first in your family, I don't doubt that there will be some resistance from people. And it doesn't mean they're bad Muslims. It doesn't mean they don't want to see you win. It doesn't mean they don't want to see you go to Jannah. It just means that sometimes when we do things outside of the norm within our communities, it can be taken in a negative way sometimes. And it doesn't mean people don't want you to grow religiously. It doesn't mean that people don't want you to, you know, there's a lot of things our brain will tell us, but most times we're wrong. It really is just the fact that when you do something outside of the norm, people will more than likely have a reaction to it. Me putting on the hijab on the internet, I'm not the first hijabi on the internet, but when I put it on, people had a reaction, and it's just because it was outside of the norm for what they were maybe expecting out of me. People have their reasons, their projections, all of that, but you're gonna want to pray over that as much as Mimi. You're gonna need to pray and pray and pray for Allah to increase your desire to do it and to lead you to more knowledge about it, because you need your why to be strong before you put it on. And it's not necessarily a thing where, oh, if you put it on and take it off, you're doomed, you're the worst person in the Listen, we all sin. We are literally inclined to sin. God created us with sin in our nature. We are rewarded for working against sin, but our literal nature is to sin. People don't always react in the best way towards change. So don't take it personal and don't use it to negatively judge their character either. It's human nature to be afraid of change. What you can do to prevent any of their feelings projecting onto you and stirring up doubt in you is to pray and pray and pray and pray and pray before you take that first step. Of course, there's baby steps that you can take. You can wear your hijab on Fridays when you go to the mosque and not take it off throughout the day, run your errands, do all of your activities with your hijab on. I'd highly recommend that you watch that video. I will put a card up on the screen, but another thing I really want to stress is that don't tell anybody. I appreciate you telling me, but don't tell anybody else, because like I said, people don't always react to change in the best manner, and some people may throw their projections onto you and deter you from what your heart is telling you to do. So keep it between you and God. Pray over it as much as you can until you feel that confidence in taking those steps towards it, even if it's baby steps. Allah sees it as much bigger than we do, and at the end of the day, we're not doing it to please man. We're not doing it for our mom, we're not doing it for our dad, we're not doing it for our husband. We are wearing the hijab for Allah and Allah alone. So I'll keep you in my dua, sister. I am so excited for you and your journey. Honestly, it is life-changing, but in the best way possible. I'm gonna finish off this lip combo with this Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Hot Chocolate. We love her. I feel like that will cool this lip down a little bit because it's giving a lot of drama. And now I'm going to set my face. I'm going to use my Cali Ray Surf Proof Setting Spray, and I'm going to pair that with my Until Dawn by One Size Mattifying Spray. All of those powders and just everything that we put on is melting together. I think I'm gonna change my earrings, BRB. All right, you guys, that completes the look. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys had fun with me too and if you enjoyed these topics. Thank you to everyone who shared a topic with me to discuss. Like I mentioned earlier, all of these products can be found at Sephora. I left all the links for you guys in the description box, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys. Me on no time, I ain't late. Still rockin' about money, bake. Sit back and roll on, spoken to the face. I could look cool, different race. Get on the car, hit the gate.